Alright, hello everybody. This is Ashish again with another mod tutorial. In today's mod, I'll be just showcasing the mod which I made. It's called Uber Ride, or the personal driver, or the chauffeur mod. So it's been a long time. I didn't make the demonstration or the how to use this mod video. So in this mod, or rather in this tutorial, in this video, I'll be just showcasing you that. So let's get started. Before you could install the mod, you need three basic files, without which this mod will not be able to run. So the first one is script hook 5.dll. Second one isn't necessary, but I would recommend you to have it, since it creates the log of the files. If it's erroring somewhere, if it's giving any kind of error. So the second one would be script hook v.net.dll. So this one would be the second file, and the third one is into the scripts folder. You'll have to paste it called native.ui.dll. So basically these are three files which you must have in order for this mod to run, this mod to work properly, and also make sure to have them to the latest versions, of course. So now taking you towards the INI file. So basically INI file is just yeah. So basically INI file is just the configuration file from which the in-game menu, or the mod.dll file, it would read all the properties from your configuration file. So the first section is pretty much simple, as it says keys. So now the keys are customizable. So at this moment, this section offers you around five options. So these are customizable. You could choose anything you want. And moving on is the settings option. So basically this is the pricing setting. If you want the pricing setting, if you want the price or the cost to be effective in your gameplay, so as in when you would call for the Uber service, or the Bodyguard service, or the Escort service, or any of the services, if this section here is set to true, the appropriate cost would get you know it would get deducted from your in-game menu, from your in-game money, rather. Okay. Yeah, so if the pricing setting here is true, then the cost of the appropriate services would be deducted from your in-game money. Of course, this is for the single player only and not for the online players, so beware there. The next one is the ride cost setting. So basically this is the primary Uber ride cost setting, where you will have to define it. Now also make sure that in order for this section to work, or rather only this section to work, you will have to set this to true. If it's false, then it doesn't matter whatever amount you're going to put it here, the game won't read it. So the ride cost is, at this moment, it's by default it's 50. You could change it anything you want, but remember this amount will get deducted from your in-game money of the single player. So I select car settings. So basically this would be the primary car, where you would have to select the primary car. Now remember, this would be anything, the in-game by default cars, as well as the add-on cars, since I have added the support to this. So now you could choose all three rides with the add-on cars if you wish, or with the default cars if you wish. But at this moment, these are only cars which are supported. So yes, so below are the other examples I have provided. Also, I have given you the add-on car example. How, if you have an add-on car, how you could spawn it. And also if you wish to use the default cars which GTA offers you, please visit to this link here, and it would show you all the vehicle database, so from which you will just have to copy and paste the name here. So instead of police, if I want to use Jackal, or if I want to use Washington, I would just paste it here. Moving on is the select car seat. So this is the basically the preference, the seat preferences. I had to add this option upon the user's request, and finally I had to add it. So actually I was struggling in between for like I wasn't been able to add this on, since I was running quite short on time. So nevertheless, finally this option is here. So now you could select the seat of your own choice. So below the valid selections, so instead of 0, if you select instead of 1, if you select 0, then your player character would sit on the passenger side. So it doesn't matter. The passenger side is the left seat, which is right next to the driver. If you select 1, that would be the left back seat, and if you select 2, that would be the right back seat. So back seats. But also remember, in order for you to use these options, please make sure that you have spawned, rather you have called out for the correct vehicle, which has either which has in fact both the 4 doors and the 4 seat systems. Else the script will end up crashing. The next one is escort setting. So escort setting, if you have put this escort setting to true, then only the escort menu will pop up, else it won't. So set here to true or false, whatever you want, and then moving on to the escort car selector. Here again, as I've mentioned it earlier, you will just have to put the car or the vehicle name which you want your driver to escort you with. So you will just have to put the name here. Again, the add-on cars are supported. Escort ride cost would be the cost which will get deducted from your in-game money balance. So by default it's 40. If you wish, you could change it to anything you want. Moving on is the Escort Driver. Now here I have given the option to select from the different from the different drivers. So instead of this, if you wish to spawn any other random driver, you could just have to put the name here of the pet. Now below are the links I am here providing you, where you could have all the NPCs, all the NPCs at one place. Yeah, there you go. So here you go. So this is the link from which you could get all the non-playable characters in the game, from which you could spawn it. So instead of CS Josh, if I want Laszlo to be the driver, so I could just have to replace this to CS underscore Laszlo or CZ underscore Laszlo. I'm unsure of it, nevertheless. So you could just confirm it by going to this site. Moving on is the third setting. The third parameter is the bodyguard setting. Now if you select this to true, then only the bodyguard service option will be available in your in-game mobile contacts. If this option is false, simply the bodyguard service option will not be available. You won't be able to see it, or spawn, or to call for it. Moving on is the select bodyguard car. Again, same as above. You will just have to enter the car, or the add-on car, or the bikes. Okay, now here also an important point is with the latest update, I have I have added the support to the bikes as well. So if you wish, you could replace all three vehicle types to the bikes, and the appropriate driver will come to your location to pick you up on motorbike. But also please make sure that you select this vehicle with minimum of 2 seats, else again the script will end up crashing. So Nemesis is one of the default bikes, if I'm not wrong, which consists 2 seats, which is a 2-seater. So basically, so you could go ahead and you could spawn that, and you could again like go ahead and explore other other options as well. Moving on is the bodyguard service cost. As it reads, it's quite simple. Again, as above, here is the default cost is $50. If you want to change it to anything else, you could change it to whatever you want. But also make sure that the amount which you mention here, you must have the in-game balance above the given cost. Else you would end up getting an error that you cannot spawn the selected vehicle. Moving on is the bodyguard driver. Again, same as above. You could just go ahead to the pet list here and replace the name which you want your bodyguard driver to be and bodyguard pet to be. Now the bodyguard pet would roam around with you, and which will protect you from all the enemies. Now, two things to note here. First is bodyguard pet is invincible, so he will not die. He or she will not die. Second of all, the only weapon type at this moment I have added is the baseball bat. So no guns, no gunshots, no nothing. So most probably I would be adding the rest of the features probably by the future releases, as and when the time passes. Okay, so this is it with the INI overview. Now let's head to the in gameplay, and I will show you how we could use it. Alright, so now when you are in game, if you have loaded everything correctly, you should see the pop-up here called Uber Ride 1.2 by YCSM and Lease 2202. So that's another user from Grand Theft Auto 5 mods community, who is a contributor to this mod, who had helped me fixing few bugs. So nevertheless, let's go ahead and call all the services. So here I'll just I would just like to give you a quick tip that how you could use it. Earlier it was just the UI menu from which you can call the services, but now to make it even little more realism, to add the more realism, to make it a little more realistic, I had to add all the functions to the in-game mobile function. So now you could call all the services by in-game mobile contacts. So let's go ahead. And also one more thing, now all the options which you would be calling out are dependent on each other. So if in order for you to call the escort service, you will have to have the by default ride or the by default Uber drive first. Same goes with bodyguard as well. So if you want to have a bodyguard service, you will have to have the Uber ride at first. So let's get to it. Alright, so take out your mobile by pressing the up key. The default is the up key. You could check that with your own configuration. Go to the contacts, which is the middle icon. Hit enter and just hit up arrow once. So that would take you to the extreme bottom list, to the extreme bottom of the list. And there you have the three options. First is with the ride, second is this escort ride, and third is third one is bodyguard service. Now also make a point of this that these services are dependent on each other, and the amount which is reflecting is right from the INI which I had shown you earlier. So let's get to it. So let's call the bodyguard service. Now make a note here that the bodyguard service will not be available until and unless I call for the Uber ride first. Same goes with the escort ride. And there you go. it's showing you the error. And now let's go ahead and call the Uber ride. Now make a point here that on the above right corner there is minus $50, whatever the cost is from my account, and you could see the yellow blip, and that's probably the driver. That's probably my Uber ride. So it doesn't matter wherever he is or she is, it will come to your location to pick you up or to escort you or whatever you want, however you want. Now let's go ahead and call for the escort ride. There you go. Again, the selected amount is getting deducted from the in-game money balance, and now you have the blue dot on your minimap. So that's basically the escort ride, the escort driver. And let's go ahead and call the Bodyguard Service as well. Again, make a note of the amount is getting deducted, and the green dot now, that is the Bodyguard Service. So don't worry about the rest of the cars. The primary, so both of the cars will follow the primary car lead, the primary car's lead. So let's go here, and I will just quickly show you. Alright, so there you have the bodyguard following you here, and now let's say if you have called all three services. Now only the calling of the services I have included in the mobile contacts, but in order for you to operate the menu, you will have to press C, the default key. So that would give you the UI of the more functions of it. So let's say I am at this location and I don't have my car nearby, so just hit C and just go to recall the driver and hit enter. So it doesn't matter, wherever the selected car or the selected driver or the selected services are there, they will start and follow you wherever it's required. Also make sure one more point is that I have added the vehicle fixed functionality as well. So all you have to do is just hit Y in game, and all the vehicles, it doesn't matter wherever they are, they will be fixed soon. Alright, so where are the rest of the cars? Okay, so they're heading. Yeah, so don't worry about them. So it doesn't matter wherever if they fall back. If they are not coping with the primary car on the first place, so don't worry about them. They will eventually get to the set location. Now let's say if I want to enter the secondary, the escort car, I will just have to hit G, and now the selection of my seat was -1, so I have selected that, so my character enters to it. Now also make sure that now also make a point of it that if the ride where you are entering, if that ride has any of the seats available, the bodyguard will then sit with you in that car. If the car where you are sitting doesn't have any of the seats left, he or she will take its seat to the third ride. So that's basically the dedicated bodyguard rider. So he will drive him around the city with you. So now let's go ahead and set the waypoint. Let's say if we want to arrive here. Now first, when you have set the waypoint, just hit again C and just hit refresh waypoint. So the updated waypoint will be refreshed, and all three will start you driving to that location. as you could see on the mini map as well, that all three are following each other in the same context, in the same direction. And there you go, we have arrived. So once you got off the vehicle, the default key is F. The all three riders or the all three vehicles will start cruising around. So once you are done with your own work, whatever the work you have been doing, you could just recall them. Now I'll show you the bodyguard function here, how this would work. So let's say if you are into fight with someone. Oh, come on. Yeah, so let's say if you are into a fight with someone, so there you go. So you will have the bodyguard attacking them soon enough. Alright, that was one shot kill, I believe. Okay, so yeah, and let's go ahead and recall the driver. So it will give you the estimated distance with the driver's point and to your location. So that would give you an appropriate idea that how soon the driver will be there with you. And now there are only like two functions remaining. One is cruise around and second is dismiss all services. I'll just quickly show you how those services work. Now also make sure that once also make a point of this, that if the driver, the original driver, the Uber ride or the escort ride, if they are already spawned, you won't be able to respawn them. You would end up getting a warning that the existing driver is already on his way, and if you want to call the new one, please dismiss the first services first. So you won't be able to spawn the new one. I actually had to add the different logic for these functions to work. Alright, so I believe there we have 3 rides. Now you could sit into the primary ride as well as a passenger, and you could sit on the escort ride as a passenger as well. So whichever the seat selection you have made in the INI file, the playable character will select its seat appropriately. So the third option is to cruise around. So I'll just quickly show you this. If you select the cruise around option, oh come on, set it first. Alright, so if you select cruise around option, the driver will start to cruise around with the vehicle with the selected speed. So if you have no waypoint set, so I believe this is again one of the good functions to just to cruise around. And if you have no waypoint selected, and if you still hit refresh waypoint, you would end up getting an error setting that waypoint is not active. So you will have to set it to active. Oh come on, so hit Y to fix it. I don't know why they have messed it up. Okay, so oh yeah, hold on a second. I'm just about to show you even one more thing. That let's cruise around, and so let's say if you have selected the dismiss functions, if you have to select dismiss all the services, and if you are in car or if you are on foot, it doesn't matter. So if you are on car, if you select the dismiss order, the said vehicle will stop for few seconds, for few moments, and then all the blips will be removed from the map, and they will all the spawn rides will continue with their task. So they are no longer belong to your entity or to your functions or to your properties. So that's it, guys. I hope you like this mod, and if you have any suggestions, please comment down below, and let me know how do you like this. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.